What up, my Teaspiracy people? Today, we're going to go over something that brings me peace, joy, happiness, everything that the drama community is not. We're going to take a little break today and go over something peaceful and zen, like in, Woosah and stuff. So if you are new here, my name is AZ. Normally I make drama videos, but today we're saving the drama for your mama. When I thought about showing you guys my crystal collection, I asked you in the community tab, would you be interested in seeing it, or do you just think that they're a bunch of rocks? And overwhelming majority said you'd be interested. And since my hands are tied right now due to a copyright infringement from somebody who shall remain nameless for the moment, because this is my Zen moment, my Zen video, okay? Yeah, you said you would. And one of the first questions I was asked was, AZ, do you have a favorite type of crystal? What's your favorite? And yes, I do. My favorite crystal is fluorite. Fluorite is my favorite crystal because, it has my favorite colors in it. I love purples, greens, blues. Even though blue is kind of rare in fluorite, I just find them to be mesmerizing. They are absolutely my favorite, hands down. Opal is one of my favorites. I don't own any opals because as you can see, they are super expensive. That's a photo I took at the Museum of Science in Boston, I believe. They have like a crystal area in there that I could just stay in all day. But anyways, yeah, I started collecting these probably about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, about 2 years ago. I actually scrolled across a video on YouTube, believe it or not, of a girl showing her crystal collection. I was like, wow, those are so pretty. I think I want to order some. So I went on eBay and I found this really cool site. It's from China. They're really cheap to get them through China because they just, sell them left and right. However, it does take forever and a day to actually get them in the mail. By the time I get them in the mail, I forget I even ordered them. So it's like a nice little surprise. So not only is the buy now option pretty cheap from China, but if you pay attention, you can get some really good auction deals. I like to go to like ending soonest auction and, bid on ones that have like a minute left to go or something. And I usually get them pretty cheap. But my other favorite place to get crystals is the flea market. There is a dude at my flea market in my, kind of near where I live, and he has them. Some places are just super overpriced. Like this one I have in my hand. This is my second favorite. It's called labradorite. I paid a lot of money for this. It's my most expensive one. Labradorite is really cool because sometimes when you walk by it, it looks like just a rock. And then if the light hits it just right, you can see these amazing blues and yellows and golds. And sometimes you can find them with purple. Those ones are even more money, but it's amazing because the color really isn't in the rock. It's the way that light reflects off it that gives it that pretty blue color. It's actually really interesting. I once read that the story, there's a story that goes along with a lot of these gemstones. This one was told like there was Eskimos a long time ago. When they found it, they were so amazed by it that they thought some kind of like God had taken the northern lights themselves and kind of like bashed them into rocks. It works by something called the Schiller effect, labidorescence actually. And what happens is light interference with the lattice. The light interferes the lattice of the crystals because all crystals are made by a specific lattice, like a repeated pattern of atoms and stuff. I'm not a professional, but basically the light interference like hits the lattices and it causes like the color distortions that you see in labradorite. Mineral impurities that are housed inside of the labradorite that causes the layers to break up and bounce off of white light, and then they bounce back as a different color. So those are my first two favorite. Here's my third. This is called Smoky Quartz. Funny story about this here, Smoky Quartz. When I got it, I kept it in my car for a little while. And of course, my little daughter, who is just obsessed with crystals as I am, she took it and scratched my window with it. I do leave crystals in my car. I switch them out once in a while. But as you can see on the Mohs hardness scale, because I'm a big nerd, diamond is obviously the strongest, number 10. And quartz, number 7, is right under the strength of steel. So those things will definitely scratch glass. Lesson learned. So to this very day, I have a nice scratch on my passenger side window of my very nice car where my daughter took the Smoky Quartz and, made a little picture. Well, it's not really a picture, it's more like a streak before I caught her. I was like, no, it was like a slow motion thing. I'm like, don't do it. Yeah, so there's that. Kids do weird things, right? This is an after photo, and I'll tell you why it's an after photo. I had a shelf break, and this broke. This is called celestite, something like that. And yeah, it was in a big piece, and then my shelf broke, and now it's in 3 pieces. So now I have 3 celestialites. It's pretty cool. The bluish part, the bluish gray part, feels like sandpaper. It's like really fine little quartzes. And the quality in these quartz, some of them are like super transparent. They're really pretty. I mean, this was one of my favorite pieces. Of course, I'm not the best at shelving, so that's kind of what I was left with. They say it's kind of bad luck to like keep broken crystals, but here we are. Of course, good old amethyst. How could I forget about my amethyst? I have quite a few pieces of amethyst actually. I think it was like one of the first ones I started to collect because, my favorite color purple. And I made the mistake of reading a blog that said I should put my amethyst in salt water, like sea salt, to clear out the negative energy. And of course, I left them there too long and it kind of took away from the purplish color. So another lesson learned. When it comes to crystals, I prefer the raw crystal, like the one I'm showing right now. I mean, there's a lot of crystals out there that are tumbled to be really smooth, and yeah, those are pretty too, but I prefer the raw form. I just feel like they're more organic feeling. And as my daughter would say, unicorn horn, right? It's obvious, it's a unicorn horn. But this one is really smooth. This one is too. They're kind of lighter than they look, which is weird, right? But they're really pretty. These ones are good for healing and cleansing. And this is citrine. Citrine is pretty sought after. Actually, a lot of the orders I had for, epoxy resin wall pieces were requested with citrine. I even made citrine coasters with real citrine chips in them. If you're new here, just know that I do make epoxy resin coasters, all kinds of stuff, wall art. I mean, you name it. Anything you can make epoxy resin out of, I make. I do it in the warmer months, and it's getting warmer. And my newest content is going to be tutorials on how to make, resin art and things like that. Like here's a wall piece I did that had acrylic paint and glitter and stuff. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I got some really cool things coming. And, I showed you some of my favorite crystals. I'd be here all day if I sat here and went through all of them. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure that you're subscribed before you leave. And thank you very much for, tuning into my AZ Offline. I'll check you guys later. Bye.